Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Nikola, ticker symbol NKLA. And so I'm just going to be doing a live stream for the next hour, power hour. I'm on vacation, so sorry if the setup's a little bit different than it normally is. And so that's also why I just put out a 11 ticker update video, because I am not going to be able to upload that much for the next week. But I just wanted to try to be able to connect with you guys either via this live stream or in the comments, or just by putting out a few videos. So I did get a few out, one on, Palantir that was requested. Also, I thought it was really interesting. Another on AMC, having just hit an all-time low, now kind of taking off along with everything else. I think really just because of what Powell was saying. Jay Powell, I believe, had minutes or, talking about the CPI, PPI, stuff like that. And so markets seem to respond really well to that. What I have behind me is Nikola, which I think is a really interesting, let's see, I'm doing this all on my laptop, so I fumble with it a little bit. But yeah, with Nikola, I had made a video following this big drop, suggesting that I thought it might settle around one of these levels that I had drawn. And it seemed to settle along really the second one, with this yellow one having been below that. And 3 closes around that level. Now it's taking off up over 13% on the day. So basically, my thought process was it drops by, it hovers around this level for 3 days. Then that would be a good time to pick up shares, which would have been yesterday, and then it goes up, for potential 30% swing going up to this line here. I unfortunately did not partake in it, but I think it was a cool thought process as far as trading goes. And let's see, I'm fumbling with this. This view. And also, I should note, if you hear a meow, I do have a cat around me. But I need to figure out where the live chat box is, because I can't see that, and I want to be able to exchange with you guys while doing this. So just give me 1 second while I fumble closing a bunch of windows, and let's see where that one is. Let's see, sorry about this. Yes, okay, I got the live chat box. I can see it now. It's a very kind of wonky thing with OBS. I have the chat box, but then whenever I go over to a different window, it disappears. So I do see that, one person is here. So if you have any ticker requests, happy to go over them. Definitely let me know in the live chat if you're here. I might actually move this control panel window so I can see, who is here. So yeah, sorry for this fumbling, but okay, yeah. So basically, I have Nikola up. This is one of 11 tickers that I went over in a video. And then I also did separate videos on AMC and Palantir. And so happy to go over any of those, elaborate on my thoughts. But I might just fumble with, this setup being on the laptop. But yeah, so Nikola, I think, is super exciting. Pretty much everything, really. What I think I should do is go over to, what's happening. Yeah, SPY, wow. I made a post. I'll pull it up on Twitter, basically saying that, let's see, I find 477, you see that white line there, to be a compelling level for the SPY to hit. And then following that, I believe, let's see, I need to zoom out on this chart. Let's see, maybe I go to the monthly to go over this. Yeah, so you see this Fibonacci retracement that I had done. And basically, if price goes up to 477, 478, there would be this retracement to, let's see, I believe the 236, which would be around a price of 414. If we look at this on the daily now, retrace of 414, that would be coming down to here, around this bottom, filling these gaps along that way. So I find that to be pretty compelling. I do think that the SPY is really, really close to a top. And yeah, let's see where that other, I think that the 236, I think it corresponds with, yeah, the top over here. This was the high on February 2nd of 2023. So I do think that, the SPY is getting really close to a top. And yeah, I believe it is at an all-time high right now, which is kind of mind-blowing because, oops. Yep, all-time high for the SPY. So, with that being said, this kind of reminds me of, how Bitcoin had the higher high. And actually, I'll pull up it was a response to somebody on, let's see, on Twitter. So yeah, I have to adjust my window in OBS so you can see, let's see, the Chrome window behind me. But I have that minimized, so let's see. Okay, yes. So, let's see. Can I... yes, I have to, minimize the OBS window here. And getting some form of... Yeah, okay, so apparently, the internet that I'm on is not the best for this, so that sucks. But yeah, I'm just going to go to... let's see, my page here. Yes, right here. Click this. And I'm going to go to replies. I'm not sure how much of this you guys can see. Okay, yeah, so go to my replies, scroll down. There's one that I found really, really exciting. I just commented. Yeah, so this was TrendSpider posted SPY lockout rally off the year-to-date volume POC. To be honest, I don't really know what that means. Has now brought us to new 52-week highs. Hard to ignore the graveyard of gaps we left behind. So we see all these gaps here, and so I had. I had just gone over those in the stream. Sorry, I can't see everything that I'm showing you guys, so I'm a little clunky. But then my comment was, it seems like it could make new all-time highs, like how Bitcoin did in the last bull market before pulling back to 343, which would be the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci from pandemic lows which would be, so from the pandemic lows to the high of 677, having been resistance in September 2020 and support in October 2022. And so now I'm just going to go back to OBS so I can remove the Chrome window and we can get back into this chart. And let's see. If anybody is still watching. Yeah, I see one person still watching, so that's good. I haven't lost everybody fumbling with this. But yeah, so looking at this, let's see. I might have to stick my head close to the camera just to see so I can... the 50% retracement, 343. That's also based on this low that was here, I think I had mentioned, as well as the high over here. So, yeah, I mean, this could be the start of, getting up to 477. I think that could be a really, I guess, a nice short opportunity. So I have started to open up a position in, let's see, I've got a... I had started to open up a position in ticker symbol SH, which is the ProShares short S&P 500. So what I think might happen is maybe we'll get a double bottom going back down to around 1301. Around that time, I would think the SPY could be hitting, it is hitting its all-time highs now. And so that could represent, I mean, even if we don't get up to 477, I do think that this retracement is, would need to be adjusted slightly. But I do think that this is a nice way of kind of telling where are levels that this might find support. And so I think that we're in a euphoric state in the market, whether that's, the SPY, individual stocks, things like that. And so with that, I had kind of noticed that the SPY seems to be anti-correlated with, natural gas. So if we look at, just UNG, this is on the monthly time frame, I'll switch it to the daily. We are, getting to these like super all-time lows that really suck. But, we did have 2 green candles over the past 3 days. Granted, that was following big drops, like on Monday, the 12th. But, I do think that we're getting very, very near, if not at the bottom for natural gas. And I might actually pull up the natural gas chart. But, I personally am holding BOIL, which is 2x leveraged. And so, I like to cover this for myself, but really doing technical analysis, I think it's best to look at the commodity. I think that over the next couple weeks, as I had mentioned in the 11 ticker update, Gareth Soloway had mentioned that we have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles weekly red candles. And so if this week ends up being red, that would be 6, then it's kind of, becomes more and more likely the more red candles that we get on the weekly time frame that we will see a turnaround, we will see a bottom. And so I do think that there is some hope that, we could get, maybe this week ends up being a spinning top, whether it's red or green. I do think that we are close to, if not at the bottom, which had a low of, I believe, in the pre-market of 23.45 for BOIL. So, that is something to consider. And let's see, still nothing in the live chat. So if you do have requests, just let me know. And I'm just going to kind of adjust where my windows are, because no matter what, this is going to be kind of clunky for me. And yes, so I just need to get this to be a little bit more organized. Sorry about this. Sorry I'm doing this live. Yeah, you guys can't see what I'm doing, but might actually close it. Okay, so okay. All right. S ticker, please. Cool. Perfect timing while I'm fumbling with this. Let's see. I might actually just do one more thing. I just setting up stuff in the in my window. It's just all right. So cool. I should be in good shape as far as OBS goes. And I'm just going to have to come back and, kind of check this periodically. So thank you for bearing with me, and I will check out S-ticker. That is Centennion. Nellion. I'm not sure. Whoa. This is going up a lot. This is on the weekly time frame as well that this just popped up at. Let's look at it on the daily gap to the downside. That to me, I mean, let's see. I think, basically this week is not over, since we're on Wednesday. So what I think would be good, if you're up, you're green. I imagine you are, just because it's been going up so much. Or if you're not holding it, I would not want to get in at this point. We do see this, large amount of volume, and the RSI on the weekly going above 70. And so I think it'd be good to see, does volume continue to increase on this weekly time frame. We'd have to wait for the week to be over in order to see that. And with that, with volume dying down, with RSI being above 70, it might flatten out a little bit before pulling back. But yeah, I do see that this gap not being so great. Volume has been decreasing. RSI on the daily is almost 89, so pretty remarkable. I think that this is getting very close to the top. I mean, it's possible that it will stay around this level for coming weeks, but it might be not getting back to 26.39, which was the high of today. I mean, it probably will go higher, given that the price is just below that right now. This gap up following earnings. So I mean, I could see this hanging out around these levels for the next couple weeks before having some weakness and pulling back to fill this gap. Let's see if I can look at this. I'm just the way that I'm having to view this, zoom out. And I should say, I'm not familiar with the company, so this is all just based on the chart. But let's see, are there levels of resistance in the past that this might be coming up to? Yeah, so we've got some history here, so I can look at that. And I'm just going to check OBS to make sure that no more chats. Cool. I don't actually see that anybody's viewing this right now, but I'm still just going to go over S because it was requested. And so what I see with this is, let's see, do a horizontal ray. I see that, there has been, this is served as, I could see this, especially with it just being like a round number, having served as support over here. This was March 2022. There was a little gap, it looks like. You guys probably can't see that, to the downside. And that has since been filled. But yeah, I'm just going to lock this so it doesn't move around. I do see that just 30 being a psychological level, and there having been support in the past at 30, right around 30, I should say. I do think that the stock will probably go higher, but I do think it is also a good time to be trimming. Served as resistance. Look, we see these high of the day on August 31st, 2022. Being $30, definitely a psychological level. I do think, though, that, momentum will eventually die down. And, it will be, I'm just going to adjust this to, 30. So it's exactly that. And, so I do think that this could go higher. I'd wait to just see, is volume diminishing? If volume is diminishing, if it continues to, especially with the good news from the Fed today, or what has been taken as good news. As far as how the markets are responding, I'd be very curious to see what the volume is at the end of the day, the end of the week, and as far as like turnaround goes. I would not want to see it closing below this. Let's see, the high of the close of yesterday, December 12th, was $25.40. So I would not want to see a close below that level. However, we do see a high on December 6th of 24.39, and that being similar to the high on the 8th of 24.55. I do think that mid-20, it might, return to, I guess what I would say is that, so this line's drawn right around 24, and this line here, I will draw one right around 25. These are approximate. I could see it pulling back, ideally, 25 approximately serving as support before continuing higher to 30. It may even dip down to 24, as there does seem to be consolidation here. It could actually, where we have this overlaps of all these 3 days, that might really serve as some strong support around 23.36 approximately, before maybe continuing higher. But if it does return to those levels, I do think, there's, risk of this gap being filled. So yeah, I mean, if I was in this play prior to earnings, I'd probably have trimmed the majority of my position by now, and I'd probably just be, holding, house money in the position now, having taken profits, and just, maybe it goes up to 30, and then I pull the plug, just as a psychological level. But yeah, I mean, it's a cautious one now because it's gone up so many days. And actually, let's look in the weekly. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles. Maybe we see another week of green candle, and that would be 6. More likely that the following week would be red. So yeah, I mean, I would want to be in this position no more than 2 weeks, I would say, with the hope of it hitting 30. But that may not happen. So I'm just going to go back to this window. Any more ticker requests? I'm not seeing any. I do see one person watching now, so if you do have a request, S was just requested, which is the Senti. Let's see. Sorry, I'm on vacation, so my windows are a little wonky. Sentinelone. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. And I guess I did. It might be interesting to throw up the moving averages. This is the weekly, 50 weekly moving average in blue here, that's showing a price of $16.40. If we look at the daily, I imagine we did get a cross of these, yes, on September 15th. So, seeing that, any prices below the prices on that day, which were, let's see, in the $16 range, $16 to $17 range, basically would have been great buying opportunities. And, what has played out has been that. And so I think, yeah, I do think that there's, definitely more upside to this going up to 30, but it's also, really risky at this point because of this gap and because, it's probably going to come down to those moving averages at some point. So good to be cautious with that one. Any other ticker requests? I might actually go to kind of like the DGen Ed stock portfolio, which is basically just, the tickers that I've covered on the channel. And actually, I might start with daily. This is the list that I did for today. Let's see. American Airlines looking like it's potentially going to be red on the day based on yesterday's close. Green candle, though, moving to the upside. But yeah, just looks like it's hitting resistance right around $14 psychological level. Also, we see the 200-day moving average right up there. So yeah, I mean, I and all these gaps to the downside, I think that Americans, for me, I actually bought a put on it recently that I think expires in January. I forget. Basically just for, to get a 100% swing, which would be like turning $6 into $12, so nothing crazy. But, I find that when I do options, I've got to, place sell orders, limit orders. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold them until too long, which I did with Hood, which let's take a look at Robinhood. Yeah, had the kind of red day, I think, corresponding to what's going on with Bitcoin and crypto generally coming down, because this is really not only a stock play, but also a crypto play. And yeah, it's nearly filled what I believe is a gap to 218. I could scroll over left to show that gap, but I think that, just make this stream a little bit wonky, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I mean, it does look like it's, getting to resistance right around $12, which was the high today. So yeah, I mean, this could continue higher. I do expect, if Bitcoin hits 48K, which seems to be likely, that that Robinhood, along with the miners, will go higher. And I did go over this in the 11 ticker overview or update, if you're curious about that. But yeah, I mean, I think that this could go higher. I did buy some puts on Robinhood that, I'm going to lose money on, so that sucks. But, not a lot of money, $30, so no big deal. Hycroft, let's see, on the daily, looking green, but still in this, what looks to me like, I'm actually going to remove these moving averages so it doesn't mess with the axis. Yeah, this to me looks like this could be, bullish consolidation. But I just think that this low of $1.63, I think that will be retested. And with Hycroft, I have exercised patience in the past that served me well. So I'm going to continue to do that. But it's probably going to at a pretty big discount right now compared to what it will be in the future. But I'm patiently waiting. Let's see. Any other requests? Do I think it's a risky time to be investing in the NASDAQ? Without even looking at it, I can say yes. I think that things are going to be turning around. And so I'm just going to look at the QQQ for that. Let's see, indexes, the QQQ. Yeah, we'll see what happens on the day. That could be a topping tail. Let's look at this on the weekly time frame. Actually, I'm going to look at this on the monthly time frame. So yeah, I believe that is an all-time high for the NASDAQ, QQQ. Yes, let's see. What is this? Yeah, the QQQ is a tracker of the NASDAQ. And so, yeah, I think SQQQ, I believe is short SQQ. I think this could be an interesting one. And so I'm going to actually put that on the indexes list. So yeah, and basically what this reminds me of, same thing with the SPY hitting a new all-time high. I think that this is just like how Bitcoin hit, the second all-time high in the last bull market, and then there was a big pullback, a big sell-off. And so I think that's what's happening with not only the SPY, but also, which is the S&P 500 tracker, but also the NASDAQ, or the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ tracker. And also with that, I think that actually, I don't want to get into the Dixie because I'm not too familiar with that, still learning a lot about it. But basically, the short NASDAQ, SQQ, this is something I might actually pick some shares up on because, yeah, it's hitting, let's see, 52-week low, 1427, which was, let's see, what's the low of today so far? Yeah, that's a low of today. So over the past year, this is, an all-time low. This is also the monthly time frame. But yeah, if we look at it on the daily, I think that we're in euphoria stage, and also with like Santa Claus rally, stuff like that. I think that we're going to be seeing pullbacks, especially with at the end of the year. A lot of times, what you see firms doing, or just individuals doing, is selling their positions at the end of the year to kind of capitalize on losses, and then then they buy those back in January, 30 days later, so they avoid a wash sale. And which is basically you are not able to claim the loss on your taxes, get a tax break. And so, yeah, what we tend to see at the beginning of years is the dropping of things. And so with SPY, with QQQ, with stocks, hitting all-time highs and things like that, that is euphoria. And we're going to see a sell-off towards the end of the year, I believe, after Christmas. So yeah, I think it's the exact wrong time to be buying into these at all-time highs. Maybe they run up, like I was saying, I think that SPY could be going up to, really just based on Fibonacci retracement, that, with a hypothetical high of 477, that could then have a pullback to the 50% mark, which would be 343. So that's a huge drop. So yeah, I think that it's time to be avoiding these. But I of course could be wrong. These things could keep going higher. So yeah, no financial advice. But I do think that we're at a top, and I am, after this stream, I'm probably going to pick up. I'm a little fish. I don't have big positions in anything, but I might pick up like one share of the SQQ any day that it goes lower than my average, which is going to be lower than 15. I might add to it, but just thinking kind of long term, I think that we're at a top. And I think that, let's see, this is on the monthly time frame. So looking at this could, be going down to these lows. And let's see how that compares with the time frame. Yeah, so going back to like the lows for the month of October 2022, let's see, with QQQ, that would be going down to like 250. So for SQQQ, that would be going from like $14 to, let's see, I'll just do a measurement of this. That would be going from, let's say, whatever the closing price is to, what's October is this level. So that's like going up to, that's a, wow, that's, damn, I didn't think it'd be that high. It's a $52 swing, 360%, shorting the NASDAQ, QQQ, $15 a share. So yeah, after the stream, I'm probably going to pick up one of these. Thanks for mentioning that. That's a good idea. Because yeah, I basically had started thinking about SH because Gareth Soloway had talked about the SPY, I think on the 10-minute time frame, kind of breaking out here. I'll maybe do the hourly because I can't scroll that well. But it's basically been trading in this channel that I don't have drawn here. But I think over the past month, let's see, 4 hour. It's been trading in this, it looks like this channel here. I'll draw up one that's going to be kind of wonky, I'm sure. But just going from, let's say, from right here up to here, been trading in this channel. And yeah, getting near the top of that. And so basically, I think there was a fake out break here, below 455. And so on the daily, if we switch over to that, Gareth was talking about, if that breaks below, which we see it did, it closed below on the 6th, December 6th. He was thinking that that might continue, but you need to wait for confirmation. I don't wait for confirmation. I started getting a small position on this day of the SH short SPY. And, it's only, it's pretty cheap. And so, I might be picking up another share of this as well with the SQQQ. Just thinking about, forgetting about it. I don't have, I have basically for these watch lists, I have, one that's holding. That's stuff that, I like to keep my eye on. But for the indexes, I don't put them in there because I don't want to be thinking about them. I'm just waiting for the long term. So, yeah, I think it's a good time to be shorting the market. Hey, what's up? Hey, Ricardo. TMF. So yeah, I'm not familiar with TMF. I believe Gareth has talked about the 10-year yields, which I think TMF is the, let's see, 30-year. I'll pull that up. But yeah. So you think TMF is going to the moon. So yeah, let's take a look at TMF. Which TMF should actually probably be in my indexes folder. TMF. I think, I just, so 20-year treasury yields. So these are pretty low. For me, like $60 per share, that to me is like something that I'd really want to wait for the bottom, which, maybe that's what we saw here the past couple months. But yeah, this could be going a lot higher. I think I might actually, I had put this in like the DGen Ed watch list. But let's see now. Let's see, add to watch list. I'll put it in the indexes watch list. I think that's a better place for it. And TLT, I believe, is the not 2x leveraged. And this is on the monthly. Let's try to go out. So yeah, I think that Ricardo is exactly right that basically we see a low around the time that we're seeing highs in the NASDAQ. Actually, let's see, the past 3 months here. I'm going to add this to, so for me, because I think the TMF is, let's see, what is that? That's I think this is leveraged. Yes, this is, yeah, 3x. So it's pretty crazy. So with that, you could make a lot on the upside, go to the moon, as Ricardo said. But it's also risky if it goes down, it could go down a lot. So I'm just going to add this one to the indexes watch list as well, and then I'll switch over to that so we kind of look at them a little easier. So yeah, TMF, so let's see, that's low for October of this year. TLT is going to be, oops, I don't want the news on that, exactly the same. Let's look at how that compares to the SQQQ. Oh man, I just got to zoom in. So that's oh wait, no, not SQQ. I just want to look at the QQQ. So that's, yeah, a low here. Yeah, so I'm, again, not too familiar with treasury yields because that does seem like, the low corresponding with that was a low with the QQQ as well as here. So yeah, I don't know enough about these and how they relate to the SPY and the QQQ. But given that, this low corresponds with it, with the low of the others, let's see. Well, let's look back further in time. So basically, I think that the SPY is coming back down to this 50% level corresponding to the low of October 2022. I think that's where it's returning to, 343, based on this kind of approximate retracement that I did, based on a price that the SPY has not hit yet, which would be 477. And so if I look at the month of October for the TLT, where is that? That's probably right around, Okay, so that's a low here. So yeah, I'm not partaking in TLT or TMF, but I'd be cautious of that because it seems like there was a low when there was a low with the SPY over here. And if I think the SPY is returning to that, if I think the QQQ is going down, I would think the 20-year yields might as well. But yeah, I don't really know enough about them to comment on them. But just thinking about the similarities in the charts with, the dip in the October price. But, given that, the charts look completely different and, this could be, breakout of this downtrend that I have drawn, and this could be going back up. Let's see when was the all-time high for this. That was March, so crazy, March 2020, so that's pandemic. I think that if that's the case, that would mark a low for all of these, the high for the 20-year yields. And so I think we could be moving back into a time similar to, pandemic lows as far as prices go. And so let's see, that was, pandemic lows here. So I don't know that the SPY is going to go that low, but that low corresponds with, highs for the TLT, 20-year treasury yields, not leveraged, or the TMF. So this could be, I think this is risky, but I think that this could definitely go to the moon, going back to these levels, which is 552.64 for the month of March 2020, pandemic lows for the markets. And then, so this is a potentially 9x plus play. So wow. I want to short the QQQ and the SPY first, but then if I think TMF seems like super risky. But if you want to hold that, if you want to just hold this and forget about it, I think that could be a really good thing. But again, I just don't know too much about it. I don't see that anybody's watching. Hopefully the stream's still going well. I think that it might be a little clunky. I'm on vacation, so that kind of sucks. But I'm gonna go back over to, I'm kind of stoked about these indices, basically things that are short on the market, like the SQQ or the SH, and then the 20-year yields. I might actually look into the 10-year yields. Actually, here, I'll do that. 10-year treasury. I don't even know if I'm spelling that right. 7 to 10 year treasury. Let's look at ETFs. 7 to 10 year bear 3x. Let's see. Yeah, man. Ultra short, so that's probably 2x leveraged. Let's see. This is the ProShares Ultra 10-year treasury. Let's see what this was like. Yeah, March hit an all-time high. So, I think markets are turning around. And yeah, so I think that this is... Yeah, so I'm going to have to add this to indices as well. And there's also what looks like some nice, 20-year. Okay, so that's 10-year, year treasury. No data. Oh, because I suck at spelling. Suck at typing. I suck at spelling. Okay, so ultra short, I'll put that in the indices as well. ProShares, man. This is bear, so I think that this is ProShares short. Let's see. I would not want to, I don't think that it's a good time to be shorting. But that's maybe something to consider. Bear, yeah, so. And also, I think it's good to, you can look at these different ones to see maybe some are cheaper as far as per share price. So this is iShares 10 to 7 year. Yeah, so I'll add this as well. And maybe this has a cheaper purchase price. And then, so let's see, 10 year, just looking at that, 10-year leveraged is, I believe, this one, this is ultra short. So yeah, I think this is a bad time to get into this one. And yeah, is this ultra? Yeah, so this is probably, I'm just going to adjust this. Oh, well, to look at the profile. Yeah, so, okay, we'll look at the profile. This is probably 2x leveraged, yeah. So that's $44 going back to this high at pandemic lows. Let's see what kind of a swing that is. That represents, to the highs, let's say, 74%. Yeah, so I think that, Ricardo is right. If you're thinking these are going to be going up, maybe it's a good idea to, get a small position in TMF, set it, forget it, and this could legit be going to the moon. Let's see what kind of position trade that would be going up to the highs. That's almost 8x from current prices. So that's pretty insane. Let's look at it here. This is probably going to be more like a 4x going up to it's only 72%. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, TMF, man, that's insane. Wow. Yeah. So insane. But that's, like a hold, that's over, years to get back to those levels. So set it and forget it type of deal. But yeah, it's a really cool suggestion. Okay, so will I be shorting the market soon? So I'll get to, Ricardo just asked a question, but then I also got one from Nameless. Will I be shorting the market soon? So I technically am a little bit, I guess. I did buy some, let's see. I'm going to close the OBS window so I think, and I'm I ease into positions really small, like pretty boring how I establish positions. But basically, just like weekly, I'm going to add to my position in SH. Today, I'm probably going to add a little bit more because of the move up. And by add a little bit, it's like pick up one more share. So I don't get emotional about it. I forget about it. If it does dip down to 13, and so SH, I should say, is short S&P 500, says it right up here. And so I do have a position in this. Again, very small. I don't have one in the SQQs, or the SQs, however that's said, but I will be picking up some, probably just one share today, and then, I'm just gonna forget about these and not look at them. And if it dips lower, well, basically on a weekly basis, I'll dollar cost average. Yeah, so I'm shorting the markets, but I don't think that some of the smaller caps and stuff, I don't think that they're going to be seeing such dramatic drops that one might see in the larger caps. So I think this is kind of like, it's the risk off plays like Apple and stuff like that, Microsoft. I feel like now is the time where those become more risk on and smaller cap stuff is less risky because the market's going to turn around. But I may have a incorrect understanding of that as well. But yeah, I mean, I guess just kind of hedging with those. And with that, though, with these turning around, I do think that let's see, natural gas like these, we see, we're what I think is really, really close to the bottom for UNG, which is United States Natural Gas, or BOIL, which is basically 2x that. And so I think that over the next couple weeks, we're going to see this consolidation, and then this is going to start going up, which has seemed to be in the past to be anti-correlated with the SPY, with those indices. So I think that, yeah, I mean, effectively, I think natural gas is kind of a short on the market based on how the comparison, it being at a low now, whereas markets, SPY is hitting an all-time high. But, I'm not, I still have my long positions. What do you think about BABA? So for me, I feel like I learned about BABA like during the pandemic when, there's just, like a big, stock market craze. That's basically when I got into like more active trading. And basically for, this is for ETFs, so I don't want to search ETFs. So yeah, Alibaba. For me, I just found that there's like, I'd rather just, like, I feel like Chinese companies, there's not only like as far as stuff with basically the broader economy, like the global economy, also, what's going on with the companies, but also, what's going on with China and China's relationship with the US. So for me, I have found that it's just easier to not think about Chinese stocks. But, I will add this to, the DGen Ed list, something to keep in mind. It is on my watch list, apparently, from the pandemic days. Let's look at this on the monthly, just to get an idea. Yeah, so this is, lots to the upside with this. Let's see, the RSI. What's the RSI in the daily? That is, below 30. Let's see, where has it been? This bottom over here, that was October, the month of October 2022. So let's look at the, what was the, let's see, this is going to be, nope, still going back further in time. Okay, so October, so that's right around here. So the RSI, this is on the daily time frame, got down to around 25 when it hit bottom. And so if we look at the, and that's, basically from there, from those lows over the course of 50 days or 35 trading days to get this high here, 63% move. So that's pretty nice. If we go to the current times, I want to see the RSI go a little bit lower. So basically, I think you can set an alert for on the RSI. So let's see if I can do that. I want to put an alert on the RSI, and let's see if this is on the daily time frame. I want it to go below, value below 25. And so I'm going to save that, and basically I'm setting an alert if the RSI of this goes below 25. That to me would suggest, hey, this could be a bottom. Could be at that bottom now because I think maybe it's just getting a little bit nitpicky here. We had an RSI of 2602. So yeah, this could very well be, the bottom. It looks like we have a hammer candle there. Let's look at this on the daily time frame. So basically I'd want to see, I don't know what I'd want to see with this. Let's see. Because this could be, like a spinning top. Maybe that's suggesting a reversal, although price is lower than that now. I think if the week closes above, let's see what the close was last week, which was 72.14, then I think that that could be a really good sign. But again, it could go lower. So maybe if I were to establish a position in this, which, I probably am not going to, but if I were to, I'd want to do it in portions. So let's say, okay, it closes the week above last week's close. Maybe get a quarter of a position, and then, I can forget about it. If it goes lower, then, I could add to that position, and add another quarter to it, something like that. But yeah, I think that I think that Ricardo's right on that. Baba's at a low. But then, it's dealing with the international relationship between the U.S. and China, which can be contentious at times. So I think that, with Chinese stocks, that's always it's another variable, and I think could be a kind of a frustrating one. But yeah, I think Baba is definitely at a discount. Yeah, I mean, let's see what this is. Highs. Yeah, this is pandemic highs. So yeah, I mean, when there was a low of 58 down here, and so yeah, that was the one that I had mentioned, that I had previously referred to, and so I mean, it's possible that we get a double bottom, that this goes down to 60. And so let's see, this had a close, the month of October had a close 63.58. So I could see that a double bottom is formed going down to 60, and then from, let's see, approximately 60 going up to those highs. That's a 400% swing. But that's holding over the course of years. So yeah, I mean, that's potentially a great long-term trade, or great long-term investment. But really, I mean, you want to be taking money out, or at least I want to be taking money out to capitalize on that. So something to consider. Yeah, and so I think that there's one person still watching. Happy to take more ticker requests. There's about 9 minutes left for the market. 8 minutes left before markets close. And so I might actually just go back to the DGen Ed list, or the daily list. I had just gone over these. And let's see, American. I think if American can close above 14.08, I think that'd be good, but really, ideally want to see a close above 14.18. But this is like the highest gap that I had seen, and it looks like there was another gap to the downside formed here. This is on the daily time frame. So yeah, I mean, I think that American is, and what might happen with it too is, let's see if I can, maybe I'll do this on the hourly time frame. This might be more compelling. But what I see happening here, you might kind of get an idea of what I'm thinking about. Yeah, we'll see where the close is today, just the next 7 minutes. But maybe we're getting kind of a head and shoulders. I've been wrong about that. I attempted to call that out on Bitcoin. I was completely wrong. Or it could be that this is the shoulder right here on the 4-hour time frame. And over the course of the next trading days, if we do see new highs based on this time frame, maybe this hits 1450. And then we do see a pullback to this level of, right around 1370. I do think that could be a head and shoulders pattern, because I do see, on the daily time frame, a number of gaps to the downside. And, the gaps to the upside from this level would be like, I think that there's one, let's see, the low of this day, 1659 to high of 60. Yeah, there's one here that would be 1650. I don't know that there's enough, momentum, enough fire behind it right now to get up to those levels. And also, looking at the moving averages, I think that this is going to come down to fill these gaps. So I would want to stay out of American. Actually, I'm not. Let's see. But yeah, I don't need to. I just made a video on these, so I don't need to go on them too much. Let's see. Oh man, look at AMC. Yeah, for me personally, I think before starting the stream, or when I made my video on it, I realized like, wow, 650. This is like total discount. I was convincing myself. I think that AMC is near bottom, and I think it's gonna. And actually, I believe TWE charts, trading with emotion charts, just made a video on AMC that we're getting back into this volatility window when price tends to be pretty volatile. And, I think that could be meaning that we're going back up probably to fill this gap to, about $10 in the next couple weeks. So I think that's pretty cool. Bior, man, yeah, this is, we're going to get another close above 136.1. So I think that's really good. And so, yeah, to me, I'm thinking this is bullish consolidation before move up higher. But again, I could be wrong. Boyle, I think we're consolidating down here. ChargePoint, I'm stoked about ChargePoint. I think it's filling. I think by the end of the year, it will be at or above $3 a share, or at least have hit $3 a share, maybe a pullback. Fisker, let's see. Yeah, I mean, this just continues to go down, and, it had a fake out above these levels. Didn't get confirmation, so I think it's going lower. That sucks. GameStop, 10, oh, yes. Dude, I don't want to swear on the stream, but I made a video after this candle saying, man, I think it's bullish. Somebody called me a clown in the comments. Yeah, that person's a moron. Because we had this bullish consolidation coming down, now break up, closing above 16. I think that we're going to be moving to 18 in the next couple of weeks, so that's awesome. Hood, I've been wrong about this. I'll be wrong again. We do still have this gap up to 1218 that I think, once that's filled, that might be marking the top or the short-term top of Bitcoin around 48K. I do think this will be pulling down back, especially with this gap here. I think it will be coming down to probably 950. By the time it comes back to this red level of support, that might be at around 950. Hycroft Mining, maybe this is bullish consolidation, but I do think it's going to retest $1.63, and my price target for buying is $1.50. Nikola, getting some pullback there, but yeah, man, I'm really proud of this call. A lot of people were saying, it's risky, you're crazy. And let's see, Palantir. I think this is going to come down to fill the gap, but I think it's going to probably test 1830 again. I went over in the Palantir video. I might look at crypto here. What is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin's going back up. This is on the weekly time frame. Yeah. So let's see. I'm going to come back to. Yeah, if there are any more requests, I'm going to be getting ready to sign off here in a few minutes when the market closes. But yeah, I might go back to, let's see, the DGen Ed list and just see, what has percent change, what has moved the most today. Wow, run. I had made a video on this. I was probably bearish. But yeah, yeah, this looks like bullish consolidation here, so I'm going to do this really coming from here to, no, well, I'll move it to this one. And so, yeah, that's bullish consolidation is what it looks like, even though it's a pretty sharp angle, so it kind of doesn't look like it. Move up, closing above 1459 on the day, so that's awesome. Looks like CleanSpark is up 16%. Why is Mara? Yeah, Mara is as well, but not as much. And then, let's look at low to high. What went down? SE beyond, but, not by very much, a few percent. So, yeah, I mean, bullish news on the market. I don't think it will be long-lived. Let's look back at the indices. Just looking at a SPY. Yeah, I think that we're nearing a top, and that top might be realized around Christmas. And I think there's going to be selling at the end of the year to capitalize on, losses, tax deductions, before buying back 30 days later, the end of January. And yeah, so I think that we're approaching an all-time high for a lot of things. And actually, let's look at Apple. I imagine this is an all-time high for Apple. Yeah, I mean, this is, a risk on time for something like Apple. let's see, the high here for the month of July 2023 was 197.70. We're right at that level. This is a double top, in my opinion. And it might be going higher. I mean, it will be going higher. And so I think that that is reminiscent of, I had mentioned this, the Bitcoin top from, I mean, we had this, all-time high in April 2021, and then have this big drop, and then we hit a new all-time high of, November 2021. And, that just came down. So I think that that's what we're seeing in markets, this double top. And let's see if we can see anything. We have higher highs here in the price on the monthly time frame, but then we have lower highs as far as the RSI top. And so that is, I believe, let's see, that's either hidden or straight up bearish divergence. And so I think that's what we're seeing in the markets generally right now. The indexes, let's see, I'm just going to look at the SPY here. So what we have is, now we are forming, let's see, oh man, this is, this is the right peak that I want to be looking at. And so here we have higher highs formed, based on hitting new all-time highs now, but we have the RSI going lower, and so that's bearish divergence, or either hidden bearish divergence or bearish divergence. We're near a top, and so those are my thoughts on that. And with that, markets closed. So thank you for joining me for Power Hour. This was fun. Sorry it was a little chaotic, doing stuff with the laptop setup, but I will say, if you did enjoy this, make sure you like the stream, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments below as always. Also in the live chat, fun to do this with you guys. And subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And I should note as I close this, I probably will not be doing a live stream this Sunday. I'm still on vacation. And then the following Sunday is Christmas Eve, and then I believe New Year's Eve. So I probably won't be doing streams the next couple Sundays. But I'll still be making videos as I can, having fun with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll try to put out another video tomorrow, which might just be, kind of an update video, or maybe just one on one stock. But thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.